Hello friends, my name is Jim and welcome to another video. This week's race brings us to the 24 hours of the Nurburgring, or actually the 2 laps of the Nurburgring. We've qualified in 4th position with a qualifying time of 8:17.2 and we're driving the Mercedes AMG GT3. That's the car the top guys qualified with, so that's the one we're picking as well. The Beetle spins out here and we're claiming a free 3rd spot, meaning we're already on the podium place here. This race was pretty competitive. I was constantly battling with the other guys in the top 5. And the race also got characterized by a lot of wheel banging, which proved to be a real killer for the sportsmanship rating. As you can see here, the Lexus was a bit optimistic, trying to go for the move as we're coming down the hairpin. The Lexus found itself in some oversteer here, and the Lexus also had more troubles controlling the car today. The Lexus is usually a pretty good car around this track, but this guy was a bit optimistic, I would say. I tried to go defensive, but I saw the Beetle already had the inside line, so he outbraked himself and I nudged him a bit wide, and he has our down rating. I got a lot of that in the race. As mentioned, this race was a true sportsmanship rating killer. I was a bit forceful from time to time, but that makes racing fun as well. I slide a bit wide here and the Beetle gives me a nudge back, which equalizes us again. We're now entering the Nordschleife section through this nasty off-camera right-hander. Nordschleife is famously nicknamed as the Green Hell, and a quick scan back tells us a long train is formed. The top 2 guys managed to open up a gap to P3. My goal in this race was to at least finish on a podium. However, given the fact that I've never raced here on hard racing tires, meant that was gonna be quite a challenge. We're passing through Hatzenbach trying to keep up with the Beetle in front, and so with the top 2 guys to get that podium finish. Now entering Flugplatz. Quite a fast down and uphill section with a fiercely right-hander on top of a hill where real men are formed. I managed to carry a lot more speed through that fiercely right-hander than the Beetle, and I managed to find myself right up his tail again. A lot of people see this bit of the track as a perfect overtaking opportunity as the slipstream pulls them past, but I know I shouldn't, just for the sake of not killing both our race. We're now passing Schwedenkreuz, a long right-hand corner, and entering Foxhole. Foxhole is quite famous with the drivers and quite loved as well. It's a fast downhill twisty section where a lot of G-forces can be felt, especially when the track goes uphill again. As we can see here, a lot of sparks, a lot of fireworks is formed. We're now skipping towards the end of the lap, and I'm right behind the Lexus this time. Ford is still behind, so I need to be aware of what's happening behind me as well. As now the Beetle and the AMG are battling for P1 and Lexus is right behind them. We're crossing the finish line and I'm exactly at 50% fuel, which means I'm doing something good with the fuel saving. You had to save fuel this race, otherwise you wouldn't make it till the end. And I'm dive bombing a bit unintentionally here, following the Beetle, but the Lexus pushes me wide. And again with some oversteer. He is still faster than me though, which means I need to squeeze myself in between him and the Mercedes behind. I go defensive through this corner to cover up the Mercedes, as well as this corner. He was shortly next to me, but he had to tuck in behind me again as it's no spot for overtaking. As you can see, we've quite broken away from the rest of the field. We're coming down the hairpin now. I brake a bit late and I go a bit deep, so the AMG finds his way to my inside, and this is some S+ rated racing. I tuck him behind as I know there's no way of going through the Schumacher S's side by side, and I tried to do some fuel settings which made me not paying attention 100%, so I braked a bit late and fully sent it down the inside the Italian. I tried to give him space, and therefore the Ford Mustang of all cars found his way past me. It's very close racing. As you can see here, he nudged me slightly. But after the right-hander, I had to fall back and start all over again. I'm taking a little look inside as we're passing through the S section, coming back to the Nordschleife. We now go full speed. As you can see, we're all moving identical here, which meant we all had the same pace. Now entering Flugplatz. We're stopping here, and again I managed to carry a lot more speed through this section than the guy in front of me. This time it's the Mustang. But as we've just said, I know this is not a place to overtake, so I just tuck in behind him and I try to save some fuel. I even go off the throttle a bit to only fully send it on Swedenkreuz. I have to admit it was a bit forceful, and I'm lucky that he didn't go off, otherwise I would have got a huge penalty. We're going full speed again now. And here we go again. From here on, the race got a bit more interesting, as you'll see in a second. Take a look at the guys ahead. The Lexus gets a 5-second penalty and he's in the wall. Even the Beetle gives him a nudge and he's in the wall again. Which means the Beetle also got a 5-second penalty. This meant I was approaching the race way more conservative than I was doing. Because now I only have to be behind the Beetle and even behind the Lexus at the time they serve their penalty, which is at the beginning of the long back straight. But the Lexus is still behind me. He is fairly fast as he was the S-rated driver in this lobby. So I need to watch out. But for now I need to make sure I stay within the magical 1.4 seconds of the Beetle to get his slipstream. We're skipping ahead now to the highest point of the track. From here on it's all the way downhill to the finish line. As you can see, the Beetle has slipped away slightly, but that's alright as he still got that penalty to serve. With the quick look behind, we can see that the Lexus is still very closely behind me. He apparently knows its track way better than I do. As we're coming through Brunchen now, or as it's nicknamed, the YouTube corner. On real life track days, many drivers do crazy stuff on this section as it's often filmed. That sometimes leads to people crashing their expensive cars though. We're coming out through Plantsgarten, a high-paced, twisty section, full throttle as we can see the Beetle goes wide. And he even takes the lead on the Mercedes. The Lexus is still very close behind me. Actually, it's nose to tail racing here. I steer in a bit early, but the Danish guy is really putting the pressure on me. I try to follow the guys in front of me who are constantly battling, which is a good thing because then the Mercedes is being hauled up and I can try to do something. The Lexus pushes me a bit forward here as he didn't expect me to brake that early, which is a good thing because that sees me closing the gap. We're going through the mini carousel now. I go a bit wide and the Lexus immediately sees his chance to pass me. But that's alright though, as we're now coming up to the spot where they are gonna serve their penalties. I try to stay close as the Lexus goes wide even, so I pass him again and I fully tuck into the slipstream of the Mercedes in front of me. I also go to fuel setting 1 to make sure I can... And there you have it, P1 on the 2 laps of the Nurburgring with only a 10th of a second to spare to the Italian guy behind me. Well, that's it for this video. If you like this, make sure to like and subscribe for more content, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.